Hey guys, how you doing today? Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. So today, as a lot of people have asked, they want to see values of pennies, nickels, quarters, and dimes. Most likely probably the ones that I'm finding, but we're going to go through the whole spectrum of what all the coins are worth and what you can likely see value-wise if you go to sell them, or just the value in general, so that way you know how much your collection is worth. We'll have some fun together looking up values and how much coins are worth. Okay everybody, so first we're going to start out with our Flying Eagle cents here. Now this book that I have doesn't have a spot for the 1856, and I'll show you why in a second, but when I did that one hunt that day, I did find a small letters 1858, and as we have it right here, 24.6 million, both kinds. They made two different ones, and I'll show that in a second. So coming up top here, I have all the information for your Flying Eagle cent coins. So these are the first small cents that were produced, and so pretty much they started everything off for what we have today. So 1856, none of the books are probably going to have them in there because they only minted 2,000 of them. They're very valuable. So the value on these coins is about $7,000 just for a G4, all the way up to $20,000 for a Mint State 63, and I'm sure it would go higher if there was one higher up on that list. So next, the 1857, they minted 17,450,000 of these, and their grade of G4 gets 25 bucks to the MS63, which is $1,000, so that's pretty good. And then 1858, like I had mentioned before, 24,600,000, and there's two types. They had a large letters and a small letters. So the large and the small, they get the same value, about 25 bucks on G4, and then a little bit more for the small letters at MS63, which is 1150 versus 1,000. They also had an error on the 1858s where they minted 1858, so the 8 over 7. The G4 on this one is about 75 bucks. Goes up to $11,000 at MS63 value-wise of this coin. Alrighty guys, so Indian Head cents now, we're going to start with them. So the 1859 Indian Head cent without the shield, that's the original design, and the laurel wreath reverse. And on that one, 36,400,000 minted, and the value on that one is between a G4 of 15 bucks all the way to $700 in Mint State 63. Sorry, I forgot to write that up top. So to the 1860 through 1909, the oak wreath reverses is what replaced that. So the 1860, 20,566,000. The G4 on that one is $10 to a Mint State 63 of $250. Then we have the 1861, which is 10,100,000 minted. That's actually the better date. G4 on this one is 25 bucks to 400. Then 1862 and 63, different mintages, as you can see there, but the G4 and in the Mint State 63, they're exactly the same value. 1864, now they made two different types of this. We'll get to the other one in a second. But on this one, the 1864 and the copper nickel is, they minted 13,740,000. The G4 on this one is 20 bucks to $325 for the value. Next we'll get into the other ones, which is the bronze, the most common. Okay guys, so variety 3 of the Indian Head cents, the bronze, they made those from 1864 to 1909. So the bronze really kind of took over, and we're going to start with the 1864. So 39,233,714, as you can see right there. So there was two varieties. There was a no L, which in G4 is 15 to Mint State 63 of 150. And then the L which is $55 to $575. And there was a really expensive one sold for over $100,000 being in proof 65. Things are possible. So coming down, 1865, right there, G4 on that is $15 to $150. 1866, under 10 million minted on this one. $50 as G4 and $380 for MS63. 1867 also under 10 million, $50 to $400. Then 1868, we're looking at $40 for G4 and $360 for MS63. And 1869, there was one variety, but altogether $6,420,000. You're looking at $85 for a regular 1869 in G4, and it can fetch up to $700 in MS63. And then the 9/9 edition, which is also included, like I said there, $125 for the G4 and $1,200 for MS63. And another day here we will go through all the varieties and show you really up close what you're going to be looking for. So the 1870 up next here, there's a couple varieties. So they had a shallow N and a bold N. Included in the varieties on this year is a little bit over 5 million minted, and G4 on the shallow N is $80, up to $900 for MS63, and then the bold N you'd have $55 and $850 in that. So that is alrighty, guys. So continued on the Indian Head Pennies. So the 1871 and 1872, they still stuck with the shallow N, the bold N for both of those. Now the 1871, a little bit lower mintage, just under 4 million minted. And G4 condition, you're looking at $130 for the shallow N and $70 for the bold N. And mint stage 63, you're looking at $1,000 for the shallow N and $800 for the bold end. And on the 1872s, $100 to $90 and $12.50 to $11.50 for the shallow and bold. So coming over here now, the 1873. The combined mintage for these three different varieties was 11,676,500. So they had a closed three on the 1873, and you're looking at about $25 to $5.50. The big expensive one's the Doubled Liberty. That one is worth $200 in G4, up to $13,500 for the MS63. That would be cool. And then the open three is a little bit less than the top one there at $20 to $325. So the 1874, 14,187,500, and that one is between $20 and $250. 1875, 13,528,000. That one is between $20 and $260, and there was a dot reverse because they were trying to catch a mint employee from stealing back then. That's pretty cool. I did not know that. Learned something new every day. Then the 1876, a little bit under 8 million minted. That one's going to range about $35 to $390. And then the 1877, which is a very hard one to get, 852,500 minted. So one of the key dates in the Lincoln Head Penny cent package or book. That one ranges from $900 in G4 up to $4,500 and above, depending on the grade and who's willing to pay. And that's pretty cool. So we'll keep going on, guys, with the next couple coming right up. Okay, guys, so we're going to go with the 1878. A little bit over 5 million minted. And G4 is 35 and MS63 is 380. And from 1879, as we get newer, the value really drops. Not sure why in G4, but 1879 is $8 and MS63 is $140. So we have 1880, 81, 82, 83, 84 is all at $5 for G4, and 81, 82, 83 is $90, and then 1880 is $180, and then 1883 is $120. So over here too, 1885 is $8 and $200 there for MS63. Then 1886, altogether there's two varieties. We'll cover them in a separate video. 17,650,000. So variety 1 is $6. Variety 2 is $7 in G4. And then MS63 is $250 and $500. So variety 2 is definitely more valuable in a higher grade. And then 1887, even lower, as the mints do start to go up a little bit more. $3 and then $80 in MS63. Okay guys, so 1888. Now here's where they start to get pretty low in value. G4 is $3 and MS63 is $80 there. And the 8/7 is really valuable if you can get one. It's the last 8/7 and $1,250 just for G4 and over $50,000 in MS63. That's pretty cool. And then coming over here to the next bunch of them. So between 89 and 94, $3 unfortunately for the G4, but $80 for the MS63. And then the double date, $30 and $1,200 for the MS63. Pretty cool stuff. And then 1895 through 97, it's $3 again for the G4 and $65 for the MS63. So we'll keep moving on. Alrighty guys, so 1898, 1899, they're still around $3 range for G4 and MS63, they're $65. Then 1900 all the way down through 1908 without the mint mark, you're looking at about $2 for G4 and $60 for MS63. And then coming down here, if you do get an S mint marked 1908, they only minted a little bit over 1 million of these, so they're pretty key date wise. So they're $90 for G4 and then $400 for MS63. So that's pretty valuable considering the rest of them are not very valuable in just G4. But you have to remember too, 1 cent, if you can get somebody to pay $2 for it, that's pretty good. Okay guys, so the last coin of the Indian Head Pennies here that we're going to go over today, the 1909. Now, two things going on here. The first is the 1909 has 14,368,470. That's from Philadelphia. And then in G4 condition, it's $12 and MS63 is $65, so it's not bad there. But the 1909S is the one that you want to find. It's part 1 of the Holy Grail series with the Lincoln cents, which we'll get to in the next video. That one right there though, 309,000 minted. So really low mintage, key date for the Indian Head series. And just in G4, $300. Goes up to $1,200 or higher depending on the grade and how much the person that you're selling it to really wants it. But still one of the best coins to find if you can find one. That is still one that I'm looking for currently. So fingers crossed we can find it. But that pretty much wraps up this video, guys. So thank you guys very much for watching this one. And part 2 will be up shortly for the Lincoln cents. Since there's a lot of them, it's going to be, it might be in a 2-part video. We'll have to see. But like, subscribe, and have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.